All right, so the timing of this is probably going to be interpreted as reactionary, but I could have made this video 6 months ago and it would have been exactly the same. Um, I want to start by saying that I really, 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 really fucking want sports media in general to actually learn the game and start covering the game properly and quit with the hyperbolic bullshit because it's not only toxic coverage of the game, but it actually hurts players. Um, Talking about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander like he's the next Michael Jordan, like he's a generational player, like he's this all-time great already so young in his career because of team accomplishments and a couple other things that we'll get into is in the long run going to be damaging to him. Remember like a few years ago when you guys did that with James Harden because he did some grifty bullshit that worked. Now the difference is he didn't have Sam Presti. He had, you know, a far worse GM who didn't build a good enough team to carry him and win in the playoffs. But the same fucking thing happened. And then the test of time came and we went, okay, he's really good. All time great depending on context, sure. Pantheon player. Absolutely the fuck not. Let's be really clear on something. Shea's awesome. Shea's a super talented player. He works really hard. Take the grifting bullshit out, and he's still a very, very, very good basketball player. And I think eventually, like when the whole career is over, I think Shea will be universally considered a better player than James Harden, partially because even though he does the grifting bullshit and he does the garbage, you would get your ass beat any court in the world if you did this in a pickup game crap. He also still plays good functional basketball when that stuff goes away in ways that Harden never has. But let's have a real conversation. Before we start crowning him as an all time player, let's have some context around what that is and what he's a part of. And this is one of the things that pisses me off the most about modern NBA coverage. You can have a conversation about what a player is and isn't without needing to shit on that player. I'm going to shit on the grifting bullcrap because it's garbage and it's gross and it's disgusting to watch, and he's way too good to need to do that crap. I hate it. I don't respect it. I think players should get one free clothesline. If you do that more than 3 times a game, someone's allowed to clothesline you, and there's no foul. I'm kidding on that. What I actually want is just an independent referee that reviews every game and egregious flopping, foul baiting, initiating contact as the offensive player in ways that have nothing to do with actually trying to score the ball. Should all be assessed a flopping tech as a team technical. And after two, you're in the bonus and you basically completely remove the advantage. So you do it as a team technical so the other team can choose who shoots the free throw. And once you do it more than twice in a game, they get 2 free throws. And the moment you implement that rule, all this crap goes away. And guys will actually go to playing real basketball. And Shea will be, instead of a 30-point per game player, he'll be a 24 to 26-point per game player because he's still really good. But guys will defend him very differently, and some of the flaws in his game and some of the weaknesses in his game that show up in the playoffs where you can actually defend guys will show up more in the regular season as well because, well, you don't get called for a foul for being within 8 feet of him. That part, yeah, I'm going to shit on all over it. The rest of his game, you don't need to say, oh, this guy's not good in order to say, well, he's not an all time great. You should be attacking is the hyperbolic garbage, not the player. And it's one of the worst parts of NBA media coverage. Shea looks better than he is in the context of an all time great player because, one, he's on an exceptional team, and that always matters. He is on a incredibly loaded team that is super young, super athletic, highly skilled, very versatile, They have an entire armada of guys who would probably be the third or fourth best player on a playoff team. They have an armada of those. And then they have a double S tier role player in Caruso. And then you have two other super high level role players in the dirtiest player in the game, Lou Dort, and Hartenstein. And then you got the rest of that roster. OKC as a team is I they're probably all time considered like yeah they're a bit overrated like the idea that oh yeah the 2012 or 2013 Heat or the peak Warriors or the healthy 15 16 17 Cavs just picking modern teams or the 99 through 01 Lakers or even the Kobe Powell Lakers like all of those teams are washing them in a 7 game series because there's just the top end talent. They would have their best player. Shai is the third best player in almost all of those series. Maybe, probably the Kobe Powell Lakers. Like he's the second best player, but Odom's probably the fourth, especially in the role that he was in. And like it just like you look at those rosters, and then the gap between him and Kobe, especially that version of Kobe, is so massive. Like, no, you probably don't have a shot, and that's like the worst of the teams that I named. And that's the context that isn't getting talked about. Like this Thunder team's really really good. We're also in a transition period in the league. This is to a certain degree kind of parallel. It's funny he gets the Jordan comparison, but like let's also remember like Jordan in the 80s before he had the best team in the league by miles and the most talented team in the league by miles and all of the other teams that had lots of really good players got old and were out and he had like a wash down like transition period era. That's why he went 6 for 6. It's not because Michael wasn't great. Michael was great when he scored 60 against Bird Celtics in playoffs. Like Michael was great then. The team wasn't. Like team success does not mean individual success. OKC has a parallel with those 90s Bulls in that they have an armada of talent during a down period as far as great teams, like concentration of talent around the league. We're in a transition period. And Wemby is showing that that transition period is going to be short. Wemby and Ant and a few of these other guys, it's going to be their league very, very soon. Like they're going to take over, and if some of these guys get some better rosters put around them, again, huge credit to Sam Presti. This Thunder's roster is phenomenal. It's incredibly well constructed. So is San Antonio. But as an individual player, Shai is a better player than MVP. Like you go look at MVP Derrick Rose. Go look at the team that was around him, the roster that was around him, what he was doing, how he was doing it. Go watch Shai. Take out the foul baiting bullshit. Just watch Shai play. Watch how the Thunder play. Watch how the Thunder win. There's no comparison between peak Derrick Rose and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai's really, really, really good. There's no comparison between those players. If Shai is in a league where you have peak Steph or like second peak LeBron, you don't like a good chunk of players don't know his name. He's not MVP. 2020 LeBron, which was like the last time like he was like the apex player in the league or at worst top 3, which was like you're 36 or 37. Yeah, 36. 36, 37, somewhere on that, which is ridiculous. Shai's not a remotely close to better player than that version of it. Like, let's remember this is the guy who like yeah he's on the defending champs. Wasn't scoring like 28, 30 a game in the playoffs. Didn't do it last year. Isn't doing this year. Was not singularly dominating. Like they're winning as a team. It's a team game. You're supposed to win as a team. Again, don't hold that against them. But in the context of all-time players, this guy has a ring because Halliburton popped his Achilles in the first quarter of Game 7 of the finals. That's what happened. The Pacers were probably going to win that game. Hallie outplayed Shai in that series. Like that, those are real things that actually happened. That all-time converse. I saw someone recently say, "Oh yeah, well he's already better than Dwayne Wade." If you say that, you should slap the fuck out of yourself. The Mavs team that Wade played in '06 is better both by best player and just overall roster, is better than every team that Shea played in last year's playoffs and this year's playoffs. Like, we'll see how things go with Wemby and these Spurs, and they're also super young and super loaded. And Wemby is genuinely a generational talent, massively overused term, different video, different rant. Like, Wade didn't average 24 a game in that series. Wade averaged like almost 35. Wade got a lot of free throws, not because he was flopping, but because he was attacking the rim constantly and they could not guard him without fouling. And also, he had one of the best pump fakes ever, which again, like you can literally go watch the players from his era. The scouting report was quite literally, don't jump. Everybody jumped. There's a huge difference between that and having advantage. And you could just take a layup and jumping backwards or sideways into people to try to get a foul call. These are not the same thing. Please don't conflate them. Really good player. It's a downtime in the league. It's a transition period in the league. There's extraordinary parity. Like there's never really hasn't been since the 90s, the expansion 90s, artificially created that parity. Then the new collective bargaining agreement has created the parity now, and Presti gets a ton of credit. They accumulated an enormous number of assets. They hit on a lot of those assets. They got good players. They built an amazing team. They deserve credit for all that. But that doesn't mean we need to start conflating who's what. Shai isn't a better player than Isaiah Thomas was. Now, you can look at individual accolades, a big chunk of which are media accolades. But like if you actually go watch prime Isaiah Thomas and you look at those Detroit teams and you look at the way they played and you look at from a beginning to an end of the game and how Zeke played, but also who they did it against, which does matter. Matters a lot. When you're having those all-time conversations, think of it like this. My kid got a 4.0. Oh, that's really cool. That's awesome. What grade are they in? Oh, fourth grade. My kid got a 3.6. Oh, that's pretty good. In graduate school. Oh, wow, that's really impressive. What are they? A biochemist. 3.6 as a biochemist is a whole hell of a lot more fucking impressive than a 4.0 in fourth grade. That doesn't take anything away from the fourth grader. And I'm not saying the gap between Shai and these all-time grades is fourth grade to graduate school, just to be clear. I'm pointing the picture of the context in which you do something does actually matter. Robert Horry has 7 rings. Charles Barkley has none. If you think that Robert Horry is in any way comparable to Charles Barkley, like you flat out don't know basketball. Rings culture, sports media in general, how these things are covered, has Draymond's donkey ass thinking that he is in any fucking world a comparable player to Charles Barkley. That's where these conversations have gone. Is Shai really, really, really good at basketball? Yeah. Legitimately ask yourself a very simple question. If you went and stuck Shai on the Hornets, what seed would they be? Because if you stuck peak LeBron on the Hornets, they're a top 3 seed minimum, and they at worst make the conference finals. That's the conversation you guys are trying to put him in. Peak Derrick Rose was doing that. Peak Allen Iverson was doing that. Those were good teams. Those were also super heliocentric teams where it was the transcendent talent of a single player that elevated them to a level that the rest of the roster could not get to. That's not this OKC team. They have an armada of really, really, really good players who all defend and all play smart ball. And then one really good player who's like a true, genuine number one option on a really, really good team who's like a fantastic player and deserves a ton of props. But he's not an all-time player. He's not, oh yeah, he's like already maybe the 3rd best shooting guard of all time. Shai is not even at a point as an individual player where he can clean Dwayne Wade's fucking shoes. And if you want to talk point guards, we can go through the list of point guards too. Not top 3, not top 5, maybe somewhere in that 7 to 10 range, and that's factoring in accolades and timing where he's in the league. really good player. Generational, transcendent, all time great, pantheon. Pick your grouping. No, he's not there yet. And again, I'm saying all this, not even getting into the grifting bullcrap, not even getting into that. Like taking that aside, pretending it doesn't exist. He's a really, really, really good player. Do you really think he's peak LeBron, peak Dwayne Wade, peak Kobe, peak Steph? No, no, he's not remotely close to those guys. Okay, well, what about peak Derrick Rose? You fuckers must have forgot what Derrick Rose was before his body gave out on him. He's not peak Charles Barkley. Go watch Charles Barkley on the Suns. Genuinely, go back and watch. Look what he was doing. Shai's not doing that shit. And he was doing it against better competition. Now we'll see what he can do against San Antonio. But like, no, knock it off. It's absurd. And again, outside of just being annoying and being bad discourse, my biggest issue with this is this hurts the players. Because when you prop a guy up to a level that he can't achieve, here's what happens. What if Anthony Edwards gets somebody that isn't Julius Randle as his running mate? What if they find a way to get Giannis, who, for the record, pairs incredibly well with Anthony Edwards? What if they get Giannis and Ant-Man and Giannis go win rings in 2 out of 3 years? Anthony Edwards with a real running mate that isn't fucking Julius Randle and the baguette bitch as his second best player is a better player than Shai. And it's much harder to guard and deal with in the playoffs. Jokic is a better player than Shai. He was better this year. He'd be better next year. He's been better the last 5 years. Does not have a better team. Their GM needs to be fired out of a cannon. Different conversation. Like, there's a lot of guys, even just right now. There's guys around the league. These are better players than him. They're not on better teams. When you want to talk individual players, you need to actually talk about the individual and you need to contextualize it. Otherwise, like, it doesn't end up well. And what's going to happen? Like, let's say they lose to this Spurs team. All that talk about, oh, he's done all the time. Oh, he's already on the Pantheon. How stupid do you look saying, oh, he's already better than Dwayne Wade? He's already better than insert long list of players with more impressive resumes at him at this point in time than him. That sentence didn't English well, but whatever. Like, oh, we're already doing that. You're going to look like an asshole. But the thing is, the way this stuff works, that shit eventually gets held against the player. I hate it. It's bad. Stop it. But Shai wants to go average 32 to 35 in the playoffs against good. Like, go do it against this first team. Average 32 to 35. Do it in regular time, or like, hey, they're doubling all the time. Okay, cool. Go average 10, 11 assists a game. Go be a menace on defense. Be a dominant force on both sides of the ball. Not just your teammates covering all of that. Caruso being by far the best perimeter defender on your team. No. You go be the best perimeter defender on your team and the main offensive engine. Go do that for a whole series against high-level competition, and we can talk about this all-time shit. Until then, he's Eli Manning. That's unfair. He's not Eli Manning. He's Matthew Stafford right now in the NFL. Like, it's that, like, really, really good. Gonna have some great all-time numbers, the context, like all this, really, really good. If you think he's Peyton Manning, you're just telling everybody that you don't actually know ball. That's that end of rant.